Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the College Football Tailgate with me, XFL, USFL, CFL, and most importantly, right now, College Football NCAA, Jim, joined by my co-host, Uncle Rico, Eric at eTop21 Sports on Twitter. What's up, my man? You ready to talk some Sunbelt, some Funbelt?
I am ready to talk a little Funbelt, my friend. I'm ready to get dirty with a little Funbelt.
If I'm being 100% honest, I love the MAC. I love MACtion so much. The Sunbelt might be the most entertaining G5 to me.
I'm going to say it. I think they're the best G5.
You're going to say, oh, the Sunbelt is the best G5.
This year, I think they are the best G5, and I think the East with Georgia State, Coastal, Marshall, and App State is an insane division.
Don't forget JMU. Really James Madison's now in the East too.
And James Madison making the jump up.
I think so. I haven't done like a deep dive on the Mountain West of the AAC. I think at the very least they're all three like neck and neck.
And we have Sunbelt futures, my friend. We have Sunbelt futures, and Uncle Rico is placing one right now.
Okay, so you're going to have to be the future guy because I just have the win totals pulled up. So you're going to have, when we talk about these teams, you're going to have to blast out what their futures are. Can you accept this responsibility?
I mean, I may have to do a quick dynamic warm-up, get the hammies loose, but I think I can do it.
So let's stretch. Let's get into Sunbelt mode. As always, College Football Tailgate is brought to you by Better Than Vegas. Go on over to betterthan.vegas. Get your gambling on. People giving out picks left and right. So the NBA season just ended. You killed it.
You
destroyed the NBA.
It was a good NBA season. Uncle Rico gave out an 80-1 future on Andrew Wiggins to have the most rebounds on the BTV show. So it was a
beautiful.
Good future. Kyle and I was on a Curtis plus 900 decision for the UFC show over the weekend. So, we're handing out free stuff right and left. You handed out right. Plus 500 gamblers. So
I handed out the stars in the playoffs for the USFL.
Handed out come on, stars. We're just printing money. It always blows me away why people pay for stuff and just don't listen to the people that just give it out for free. Here it is.
Now that we're done touting because we're the best and we're the greatest and we're perfect gamblers, let's get into the win totals for the Funbelt. Starting with the East Division, we're just going in basically alphabetical order, whichever order FBS schedules gives it to me. We're starting at the top. App State, win total set at 8.5, minus 110 both ways.
They are plus 210 to win the Sunbelt. The biggest chalk on the board. Just looking at them, they play Marshall and Coastal on the road this year, but during the regular season they avoid Louisiana, which I think is a big thing.
That's huge.
Yep. They returned 45 lettermen, 7 on offense, only 5 on defense. And in my personal rankings of groups, this is one of the worst wide receiving groups in the conference. But I really think this team's going to go with how former Duke transfer Chase Bryce goes. When he was at Duke, he was a turnover machine. But last year, he didn't turn the ball over. And that they kind of went with that. You know what I mean? Like with Bryce not turning the ball over, the offense looked good. So is that like a one-year phenomenon, or like which one's the norm, I guess? And that's kind of my holdup with App State this year.
I'm thinking they're going to be kind of like the old school App State, where they're going to be more ground and pound, try and rely on a stalwart defense, especially at home. They do avoid Louisiana. Still not the easiest schedule you can hope for, though, especially to get 8.5 wins. They start off with North Carolina at home.
Okay, first of all, what the hell is North Carolina doing? Opening up their schedule, going to App State, and then the following week they go to my boys Georgia State.
That's a bold move, Mac Brown.
We really don't know what we're going to get with North Carolina with no Sam Howell. If App State was returning a little bit more on defense and their defense was a little bit better, I could see him pulling off the upset here. But I think North Carolina wins a tight game.
I think so too. I think this is a game that App State will cover because it'll probably be about a 10-point spread, I would imagine. But I think North Carolina gets the win in maybe App State's leading going into half if they're really good, if they're really feeling themselves. But North Carolina's going to find a way to win this one. I'm going to give this as an L for App State. Then they have to go to Texas A&M, who everybody's high on Texas A&M this year.
Everyone's high. App State 2-15 all time versus SEC. Their last win came against South Carolina. Yeah, this is going to be a loss. I'm not going to outthink the room. Texas A&M supposed to be legit this year, and we don't know. Playing with the 12th man, is Bryce going to go back to just turn the ball over the field? I have this as an L.
Again, if this was at home in the mountains, maybe competitive. At Kyle Field early on in the season, no. Texas A&M always starts off strong. Give me the Aggies. That's 2 L's for the Appalachian State team. Troy, next up on the block.
Yeah, I mean, I think Troy is going to be kind of sneaky good this year. They have a lot of depth on their O-line. I think this game,
fucking right there with you.
I think this game is going to be really good. They're returning 9 out of their top 10 DBs. They got Gunner, Watson coming back. It wouldn't surprise me if Troy is able to pull this upset off of here.
It wouldn't surprise me, but I gotta favor App State here, though.
Yeah, I get it. I get it, but it's just one of those things. You know what I mean? You start off 0-2. Does Bryce go back to turn the ball over? You're missing a lot of defense. How much of the defense if North Carolina and Texas A&M are both blowouts, how much is the defense really going to get a run?
I was going to say, you do worry a little bit about Bryce turning back into the turnover machine.
Yeah. All right,
I'm going to give him the win here, though.
All right, we'll give him the win.
Then James Madison comes to town, though.
If this was James Madison from last year, I'd give it to him. I think they're just losing. I think the team from last year just lost too much.
I think you're right. I'm going to give this one to App State. Then they get to play the Citadel. That's another win. That's 3 wins in a row. Feeling good. 3 home games, 3 wins.
I agree with your thesis so far.
Then they're going to go to Texas State before the bye week. That's a great time to get Texas State. That's another win in my book.
I agree 100%.
Off the bye week, they get Georgia State, who I'm gonna tell you right off the bat, we're both very high on Georgia State. I'm gonna give that as an L as well. I think Georgia State comes out swinging. Robert Morris after that, that's a W.
That's the homecoming. You have a 10-day break to prepare for Bob Morris. I'll give him the dub.
Then they go to Coastal Carolina and to Marshall back to back.
But it's important to remember this isn't the same Coastal Carolina team as last year. They lost 3 starters on the O-line. Their D only returns 3. I think App State gets it done here.
I think they split this though. I don't think they get both.
Yeah, I think they beat Coastal then lose at Marshall.
Yep, I could see that. Or yeah, I definitely could see that happening. I don't know which one they win in my books, but they lose to one of them. So I got them right now. I think I have them at 4 losses.
Yeah, we got them at 4 right now.
4 losses right now. Then ODU and at Georgia Southern to end the season. 2 wins I have.
I will give you the 2 wins too, my friend.
8-4 for the App State for the App State team. Fucking Mountaineers.
Yeah. I got no futures on these guys. I mean, I could see them going, like you said, 8-4, but also if Bryce goes back to just being a turnover machine, I can see them kind of struggling, especially with how much they lost on defense. If they lose those first 3 to start the season, I could easily see their wheels fall off.
I am right there with you. I would go under, and I don't hate the under. I don't hate under 8.5. I actually don't hate it. At -110, give it to me.
Okay, I would lean under here, but I have a play. My palate got wet as soon as I saw this number, so that's a teaser in the business.
Oh, there we go. Up next, we're going to Coastal Carolina. The Chanticleers with a win total set at 8, with the plus money on the over at +120, -140 on the under there. Again, not the easiest of schedules.
I mean, the stuff that kicks out to me is they're returning 47 lettermen, but only 4 starters on offense and 3 starters on defense return. So they're really not returning that much of production. My other thing is, didn't you find it kind of weird how McCall stayed, didn't transfer, and how Chadwell, their coach, I mean, granted, he does run a variation of the option. He tries to make it a little bit more pass happy, that he hasn't left yet.
Possibly. I'm always a little wondering about these coaches who stick around. You wonder if they kind of overplay their hand, overstay their welcome. Because for some of these schools, you catch lightning in a bottle and then you just kind of move on. Like Chris Creighton over at Eastern Michigan, Jamie Chadwell here. I like to think that maybe they believe in Coastal Carolina. Maybe they believe in this G5 team, because I think you give them some years, they can start consistently competing for the Sunbelt.
Yeah,
they went from really bad to really good fast.
But I mean, I think that's because the quarterback McCall. You know what I mean? If he's not there,
I do think he's really good.
You kind of need to get lightning in the bottle with with him as your quarterback. So yeah, I think they're going to struggle this year, especially to start off the season. With losing that many starters, and then having to, go on play Army, Army's a juggernaut, dude. You can have all year. If you don't see that triple option routinely, you're going to struggle. I think they start off the year with an L.
I think they get the dub. I think they beat Army. I actually think Coastal beats Army. Yes. I think Coastal beats Army. I love a team that plays a variation of the option going up against an option team. Yes, Army is really good. Yes, I think Army is due for a bounce back. They've kind of had they had an all right year last year. But I think Coastal gets the dub. I think they come out swinging. This is our first disagreement, I think.
First disagreement of the show.
Gardner-Webb up next, though. I think we agree.
That's a dub.
That's a dub right there. Buffalo at home after that.
We're both on the Buffalo under. That's a dub too.
That's a dub right there. We're both low on Buffalo. At Georgia State, though.
Loss. That's an L.
I'm with you. So, for everyone listening, I was super high on Georgia State last year. That hasn't gone away. I'm just taking what I had last year and bringing it up to this year. So be prepared. Then they get Georgia Southern at home, though. That's a win in my book.
That's a win too, because we have to remember Helton is coming in, that he's changing the offense. Teams changing from a triple option attack to a pro style. That's going to take some time. So that's definitely going to be a.
Then they go to ULM.
You know what?
It's tough.
We'll get to my thoughts on them, but when you look at that roster from last year, how the hell did that team win? The 4 games they did. I think Bowden did a great job. I'll give Coastal the win there.
I'm going to give Coastal the win as well. Old Dominion at home before the bye week.
You know what? And that's homecoming too. I'll give them the win.
After the bye week, they go to Marshall.
You know what? I'm going to give them the L here. Coastal 2-4, ATS off a bye. I'm pretty high in this Marshall team, and I'm a little lower than most in this Coastal team. I think they're going to lose back-to-back. I think they're going to lose at Marshall. And then I think they're going to lose against App State the following week.
I think they split those. I do think they split these. I think they get one of these games. Then they get Southern Miss. I'm going to call that a win.
I'll give that a win, too.
Southern Miss, to me, for the last 3 or 4 years, has been an absolute mess.
And that's putting it, and you're being very.
I'm being very nice. They almost hired Art Briles.
You're being very polite with your statement there, buddy.
They almost hired Art fucking Briles. So to end the season, back-to-back road games at Virginia and at James Madison.
It wouldn't surprise me if they drop both, but
it wouldn't surprise me
either. For the sake of the show, I'll give them a split.
It wouldn't surprise me if they dropped both, but it wouldn't surprise me terribly if they won both either.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know off the top of my head.
I'm not going to be that high on Virginia.
See, I think Virginia could be decent this year.
I think Virginia's offense, similar to last year, is going to be really good, but that defense is still, I think, going to be really, really bad.
Yeah, that's true. I don't think that's a good point. That's a real good point about their defense. Their defense can't stop anything. McCall's used to playing, and I mean, oh my God, dude, are you kidding me? They play it right before they go to Vatek.
Yeah, so Perfect spot.
Yeah.
I'm going to have them splitting with you, though.
Okay.
I'm going to have them splitting as well. So I have them 1, 2.
I have them 5 losses.
I have them at 3 losses.
I have them at 5.
I have them at 3, and I think they could do better. I'm on the over here at plus 120. Give it to me, baby.
You know what? Again, I'm passing. Uncle Jim knows the team I like here.
Oh, we both like it. We both like it a lot.
So.
Up next, Georgia Southern, the Eagles transitioning away from a triple option. Clay Helton. Clay Helton redemption arc begins here. Maybe. Probably not, but maybe.
You know what? He can recruit. If he's able to come in, he's able to get some guys in there,
I think this is the perfect level for Clay Helton.
Yeah. Yep. They got, the Buffalo transfer, Kyle Van Tress, is going to come over. He's going to take over at quarterback. They have one of the deeper running back rooms in the Sunbelt. It figures with the type of offense they run. Their wide receiver room, we really don't know what we have in there just because the production hasn't been over there over the years with the type of offense they ran. They hired a great O-line coach in Richard Owners, but they're switching blocking schemes. So I think it's going to take a little bit of time for them to get used to that. Returning 8 on offense, 5 on D, 41 letterman. The big thing though on defense, they lost all three starters on the linebacking core. I really think that's going to struggle. I think this team's going to struggle. I think Helton's going to be able to get those like Power 5 recruits to come here, but I think it's going to take him some time.
It's going to take him some time. I agree. I'm with you there. I think he will, like maybe 2 to 3 years. This team could be pretty good. Could be very spicy.
Yeah.
This is not an easy schedule by any stretch of the words for a Georgia Southern team. Starting off, they get a win, I think, against Morgan State.
Yeah,
I think that's a nice game.
They should win that game.
Then they're going to go to my Nebraska Cornhuskers. And I swear to God, if Nebraska loses this game, I'm going to commit fucking seppuku on stream. I'm going to be so upset. But Nebraska will win this game.
You know what? Nebraska should win this game, but because they it does have me a little nervous.
Flip. I will flip. I mean, I will flip, and then I'll be at peace because I will know Scott Frost is getting fired. There's no chance.
If they lose, Frost is out the very next day.
No, they're gonna wait because his buyout shrinks midway through the season.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he did the Jim Harbaugh contract now.
Oh, okay.
So if he doesn't meet like a certain threshold by October, the contract like it super shrinks. Back-to-back away games though, at Nebraska, at UAB. That's rough.
That's 2 losses. I have them 1 and 2.
We're both high on UAB. I also have them 1 and 2. Ball State up next at home.
This is but I think this team's gonna struggle. I think this is an L, dude. You know what I mean? Like
L too. Like it's hard to predict what the MAC teams do because MAC anything can happen.
Yeah.
Once you introduce a MAC team to any situation, anything can happen. But I think this is an L. Then they're gonna go to Coastal Carolina and to Georgia State back to back. That's 2 L's.
Those are 2 L's for me. Yeah.
Georgia State, I mean, anything weird can happen. It's a rivalry game, but you got to be favoring Georgia State at this point. Then James Madison after that.
Yeah.
I'm favoring the Dukes. I'm favoring JMU.
I like JMU there. I like JMU too.
What about at Old Dominion before the bye week?
I think that's another L.
I think that's an L. We have them at 1 win going into the bye week. Outside the bye week, they get Southern Alabama, USA.
I think they can win this game.
I think they could, but I'm favoring South Alabama. I'm marking this as an L.
I mean, I said could, but yeah. I think this is a flip game.
Okay.
I mean,
I can see it.
I mean, the main thing for me is, and we'll get to this when we mention it, is how much does the Toledo transfer Carter Bradley is the hype that the South Alabama coach is saying that he is an NFL arm real, or is this kid a buster? I lean buster, but if this kid is half the thing what the South Alabama coaches say, This is going to be an L for Georgia Southern. So I'm kind of on the fence about South Alabama.
Even if it's a buster, that South Alabama offense is generally like super powerful. The defense is not great, so I would give it probably a flip game because I think this would be a situation where the Georgia Southern offense can kind of flex and get a little bit going. But I'm going to give it to South Alabama. Then they get to go to Louisiana to play the Raging Cajuns. That's an L.
Well, just look at these last 3 games.
At Louisiana, Marshall, App State. That's 3 L's.
3. I mean, like, best case scenario, this team has
2 wins
in the year.
Best case. I love this under. What's their total right here? Georgia Southern 4.5 with juice with plus money on the under plus 115.
Yeah,
give me that.
Weird.
Give me.
Yeah,
that.
I'll take that.
Are we being suckered in right now?
They are plus 6,000 to win the Sunbelt.
Are we being suckered into this right now? 4.5 wins? Where are they getting these 2.5? Where are they getting 5 wins?
I mean, they probably gave them Ball State, and they probably gave them JMU, and then Southern Alabama.
Ball State, JMU, Southern Alabama, Morgan State.
They gave them Morgan State, Ball State, James Madison, Southern Alabama, and probably Old Dominion. That'd be my guess.
That'd be 5. I don't see them winning all 5 of those. I just don't.
Neither do I.
I love that under. Up next, I'm just gonna go ahead and say probably our favorite team in the entire Sun Belt this year, Georgia State, the Panthers.
And I'm gonna say this, my friend. I am looking at our friends over at DraftKings who were gracious enough to finally post conference odds.
Win total first, though. By the way, win total plus set at 7.5, plus 130 on the over, minus 150 on the under.
You know what? I would lean. I'm going to take the over there, and I'm also going to take them at 8-1 to win the Sun Belt. That's what I did to start the episode. This team returns 54 lettermen, 8 starters on offense, 7 starters on defense. And what they did last year and how they finished the season going 7-1, I think they're going to be able to carry that momentum over. I love their quarterback, Darren Granger. I think great drill threat quarterback, can chuck it down the field, can run. Tucker Gray ran for $150 last year against Auburn. He ran for $150 against a SEC defense. Best running back talent in the league. Top 3 wide receivers back. Returned 4 starters on the O-line. The weakness, they did lose all 3 of their linebackers, which is a little bit of a concern. However, I think that with the talent they have coming back in and returning so much experience, 54 lettermen, they're going to be able to get that straight before the conference season starts.
I'm right there with you, baby. I'm lockstep with you. Starting the season off at South Carolina at the Gamecocks.
You know what? I'm going to give this one to the Gamecocks, but we need to remember with the Gamecocks, new coach, Spencer Rattler taking over. I'm not a Spencer Rattler guy. This Georgia State team, dude, they only lost to 10 last year at Auburn. I'm definitely going to take them plus the points here.
I'm going to take a money line. I'm going to definitely take the money line. I'm going to give the win to South Carolina. I will tell you, come week 1, I will be betting Georgia State on the money line.
Let me see if
do they have week 1 lines?
Real quick.
They might just have
they have
week
some
0.
week 1 lines.
Oh.
They have some week 1 lines.
Because like you were saying, Spencer Rattler, I'm not super high on him. I do like the South Carolina coach. I like Beamer. But, man.
App State is getting 3 at home against North Carolina.
Love it.
Coastal is laying 4. Coastal is laying 4 against Army.
I like Army in that spot a lot.
Where is this?
Do you got South Carolina?
Dude, I'm looking. James Madison is laying 7. Oh, no, we'll get to James Madison later. Sorry, buddy. I jumped the gun there.
We're jumping ahead.
Georgia State is getting 13. Give me Georgia State plus the 13 week one.
Give me Georgia State on that juicy money line that it's going to be. I know it's going to be juicy.
Yeah,
but
it will
in
be.
The win totals, I will be counting this as a loss. All over that 13.
Yeah, we'll go.
They get North Carolina at home next.
And we have to remember, this is back-to-back road games for North Carolina. I think Georgia State's going to be able to beat North Carolina.
I think so, too. Give it to Georgia State. That's a win. Charlotte at home next. The Clit. That's a win.
That's a win, too.
Coastal Carolina. We both called that a win.
Yeah.
At Army. They're used to playing the triple option.
I mean, our boy J-Dub said how tough it is to play up at Army. They did beat Army last year 28-21. I think Army's going to get a little bit of revenge here. I like Army to win this game.
I'm going to take Georgia State in this one. Then Georgia Southern at home before the bye week.
That's a win.
That's a win. At App State out of the bye week.
That's a win.
That's a win in my book as well. ODU. That's a win.
You know what? They have a 10-day break. That's a win.
At Southern Miss. That's a win.
That's a win.
ULM at home. Win, right?
That's a win. That's a win.
At James Madison.
That's a win.
At Marshall. Back-to-back JMU Marshall's tough.
Marshall's going to be tough. Right now, dude, I have them sitting at 9 wins right now.
I have them at 10.
And this is I don't know. I have them you have them at 10? I have them beating North Carolina, beating Charlotte, beating Coastal.
I had them beating Army.
Southern.
I had them beating Army as well. That's why.
And this is one of those teams. They have so much experience, Jim. This wouldn't surprise me if this team was like 11-1 at the end of the year.
Plus 7.5, plus 130 for over 7.5. Lock that in.
Especially with how much returning production. I mean, just think about that. Think about how much returning production that we're getting. And I understand the Sunbelt is an insanely tough conference, but when you have a team that's returning 54, I believe they're returning the 4th most production in all of college football, and you're getting a plus 130 on the over, you have to bet that betting principle alone.
You have to. You have to. I'm just going to bet it blindly. Lock it. I don't give a fuck. Lock it in.
You know what? I locked that in. I also locked in the plus 800 to win the division too.
Love that. I absolutely love that. Up next, James Madison, the new addition to the block, the Dukes. I love this move for James Madison. Starting the season off, Middle Tennessee. Not Middle Tennessee State. Middle Tennessee. Go ahead.
Real quick. I am sorry, my friend. They're returning a lot. But the key thing is they're only returning 5 starters on offense, 4 starters on defense. They're jumping up from the FBS level. The big question is they really don't know who their quarterback is to start the season. They got a kid transferring in from Colorado State, a kid from Bob and Mary. They have 3 returning starters in the O-line. Their defense, D-line, they're adding a transfer from Minnesota, a transfer from Marshall, a transfer from Army. They got a transfer from Michigan State in the back end. I think it's a little disappointing this team isn't eligible for a bowl game, but I'm glad here. These guys are legit and one of the better FBS schools next to North Dakota. But their team last year was sick, and I really think
really good.
Their team last year, they're just a year behind transferring up.
Win total set at 6.5. Minus 120 on the over, plus 100 on the under. Not a terrible schedule, but not a super easy schedule by any stretch of the imagination. Middle Tennessee and Norfolk State to start off the season. That's at least nice.
I mean, but they're laying 7 against Middle Tennessee State. That's a big number.
Yeah.
I
think they get the win though.
I think they can go 2-0 here.
I think they do as well. Early bye week sucks. At App State out of the bye week.
Loss.
That's a loss. Texas State up next.
See, this is the tricky thing about Texas State. Is their coach, and I'm spacing on their name, he just does stuff different. It's like he just brings in transfers. They only have 2 high school seniors from last year on their team. Everyone's just a transfer. So I mean, it really depends so early in the season how much that gels. You know what? I'm gonna go with JMU here.
I'm gonna go with JMU as well. So we have them at 3 wins so far at Arkansas State, the Red Wolves.
I think that's gonna be a tough game, dude. I think it's gonna be a real tough game.
I gotta give it to Arkansas State at home.
I'll leave it to Arkansas State.
At Georgia Southern after that, though, back-to-back road games.
You know what?
I think they beat Georgia Southern, though.
I have Georgia Southern was just a little bit better, but they're not. If they weren't making that switch over, if they weren't making the switch over from the option, I could see Georgia Southern winning here. But I think that's going to take some time. I'll give James Madison the win here.
Marshall after that, right before their second bye week. Gotta give it to Thundering Herd.
Oh yeah, Thundering Herd all the way.
At Louisville, out of the bye week.
That's an L.
That's an L right there. At ODU after that. I think that's a
tough.
dub. I think it's a dub.
ODU, man, they have this sneaky.
ODU's good.
In the season.
ODU's good, but I think that's their last win of the season.
Okay. Yeah,
so they get Georgia State and Coastal Carolina back to back after that.
Yeah, I agree. 2 losses to end the season.
I got them at 5 wins.
Yep, me too.
And one or two of those could be coin flips. I'm gonna go under here, under 6.5 at +100.
I would lean the same way too.
I like that play. I do like that play. That'll be the James Madison Dukes. Up next, the Marshall Thundering Herd, now a Sunbelt team. I always get mixed up with, it's very easy nowadays, especially with the conference realignment stuff, which teams are in the CUSA, which teams are in the Sunbelt, because they're very interchangeable in some regards.
Yeah, very interchangeable. But I mean, I think Marshall moving up just adds to the depth of
the Sunbelt.
I think
maybe
Sunbelt's deep this year. It's the best.
That's
the
thing.
Best group of 5 in my opinion.
I think it's the deepest group of 5 at the very least.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the best. I think maybe the top of the AAC could match the top of the Sunbelt, and same with the Mountain West, but it's definitely the deepest.
Yeah. I'll agree with that.
So Marshall starts off with Norfolk State. Go ahead. I know you
real quick. I am sorry, my friend.
Oh, you're good.
Texas Tech quarterback Henry Columba is transferring in. Offense centers around their Rashid Ali, who led the nation in TDs at Conference USA's leading rusher, but they only have 2 starters from the O-line returning. D-line 3 starters, plus they picked up a transfer, Shane Simmons from Penn State. Returning 40 lettermen, 5 starters on O, and 6 starters on defense.
The offensive line production returning kind of worries me a little bit, but I think they'll be all right.
Yeah.
Norfolk State to start the schedule.
That's a win, man. That's a win.
At Notre Dame.
They got 3. 3
back-to-back-to-back road games.
Which is absolutely brutal.
At Notre Dame, at Bowling Green, at Troy. That's rough.
I think they win 1 here.
I am with you. I think they win 1. Gardner-Webb after that at home, going into the bye week.
That's a win.
We got them at 3 wins into the bye week. After the bye week, they play Louisiana. I could see that as a win.
Yeah, I could see that as a win too.
I'm going to give it to them. Then they go to JMU. That's a win.
That's a win.
Coastal Carolina at home.
That's an L.
That's an L probably. At Old Dominion. I'm going to call that a win.
You know what?
I'm going to give it to
Here's the thing, though. It's one of those things. You just look at the stretch, Coastal, ODU, App State. They'll win 2. Or, I mean...
They might just win 1.
Yeah, they could only win 1.
I'm going to only give them 1 in that stretch.
It's a tough little stretch, and Old Dominion's like a perfect sandwich spot.
Yeah, I'm only going to give them 1 out of those 3, and then they finish up the season at Georgia Southern, then Georgia State at home. I have them beating Georgia Southern. They're not going to beat Georgia State.
No.
I have them winning. What do I have them winning? 1, 2, 3. I'm going to 4, 5. Oh, I have them winning 6.
Me too.
Their win total 6.5. Plus 125 on the under.
When it's that close, I just got to pass. You know what I mean? I just got to pass when it's that close.
Plus 125 on the under, though. I'm going to dabble. I'm a dibble-dabble. But it's hard to bet against Marshall. I would probably pass as well. I lean under. That's tough.
I agree 100%, my friend.
Up next, Old Dominion, the ODU.
I mean, can we just give this team a shout-out for how they finished the season? I mean, how they finished the season to get in a bowl game, props to them. Hayden Wolf is back at quarterback. And I'm going to say it. This is their best quarterback since Taylor Hinkie. I'm saying it. Best ODU quarterback since Taylor Hinkie. They have one of the top RBs in the conference in Watson. Their O-line, they switched some positions around, and the last 7 games of the season, the O-line looked good. 9 out of 10 return, but the one player they lost in the O-line was their best one. I think that could hurt them just because he was kind of the anchor. DL's got a lot of experience. They lost their best defender last year was a linebacker. They lost him. This is one of the teams where I just kind of feel if they were in like Conference USA, were a legit shot. But when they're in the same Eastern Division as Georgia State, Marshall, Coastal, App State, they're just a little over their head.
It's just
they got 10 on offense though. 10 on offense, 7 on D. They are returning a lot.
I love so much about this team. I love their returning production. I think they're a good team, but they are in like a tough conference and a tough division, and their schedule isn't doing them too many favors. If I'm being honest, they start off with Virginia Tech at home, but still Virginia Tech. That's an L. Yep. And they go to East Carolina.
That's an L.
That's an L. I'm actually going to be pretty high on ECU when we get to the AAC. That's a spoiler right there. At Virginia after that.
You know what? I got to give them an L.
That's an L. Arkansas State at home up next.
I have to give them a win here.
I'm not. I'm giving them an L. I think Arkansas State's the better team. Then they get Liberty. They get Liberty.
Breaking in a new quarterback. You know what? I'll give it to ODU.
I'm going to give this one to ODU. I will give them this one. So I have them at 1 win. You have them at 2 going into the bye week. After the bye week, they go to Coastal Carolina.
That's an L.
That's an L for me, too. Georgia Southern at home next, though. That's a win.
That's a win. Homecoming day, I'll give them a win there.
At Georgia State after, though.
That's an L.
Marshall on the block. That's an L.
An L.
James Madison, I gave it to James Madison, so I have this as an L.
That's an L, but that's one of those 50-50 games.
At App State and at South Alabama to end the season.
L, they'll split those.
I think I'm going to give them both L's.
Oh, look at you.
If South Alabama was first, I could see them beating them. The second leg of a back-to-back road game being your final game is brutal. That sucks.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I have them winning 2 games. Maybe 3.
God,
their win total is 4.5.
I have them winning 4.
We're both on the under. Me way more than you. I actually like the under. But
I would lean the under here.
I'm going to take that under. Up next, the Arkansas State Red Wolves. Baby, I'm high on this team too. God, I like me some Arkansas State. I'm just going to be honest with you.
You're pro Ark State? I
am pro Arkansas State. Okay. I have been ever since they played Nebraska like mid 2010s. There's something about this team I like.
You just like the Ark State. I got you. Hold on. Yeah.
Sometimes I bet with my heart.
Excuse me. We're only returning 37 lettermen. returning 5 on both sides of the ball. For me, the big thing is, can the quarterback, Blackman, stay healthy? Snead will be the top running back. The return 4 of the top 6 wide receivers. O-line has experience, but they lost their center and both tackles. D-line added 2 transfers from Power 5. They returned 4 LBs and half of their secondary. I mean, my worry with them is the inexperience on the O-line leading to Blackwood not being able to stay healthy.
That's a valid worry, but I'm going to describe Arkansas State in one word, and that's feisty. They're going to be fucking feisty. They're going to be a fighting team.
Right.
Not a super easy schedule.
Arkansas State. The thing to remember about Arkansas State is this. Butch Jones is their coach, and he's only been successful when he's fouled Brian Kelly.
It's fair. I like Butch Jones at a G5 level, though.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Yeah.
People like Butch Jones, Clay Helton, they need less spotlight on him. And I can kind of I can get behind him then.
Yeah, I agree. Willie Taggart, he's in that realm.
Willie Taggart, I think, is going to be great at FAU.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be really good.
Yeah. I agree.
So they start off, Arkansas State starts off with Grambling State. That's a win.
That's a win. And they have one of these 3. Then they have a 3.
Another, at Ohio State, at Memphis, at ODU. I think they win.
They win 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have at 2-2.
I got it 2-2 right now. ULM at home up next. That's a win for me.
That's a win. Yeah.
James Madison, I have as a win.
All right, that's 4.
At Southern Miss, at Louisiana.
I'll give them a split. That's 5.
I think they beat Southern Miss there. South Alabama up next. That's tough. That's a coin flip game, in my opinion.
Yeah. I'll give it, just because they're home, I'll give it to Ark State.
I'll give it to Ark State being at home as well. Off the bye week, they get UMass. That's a win.
That's got to be a win. Yeah.
At Texas State, another sort of coin flip game. I'm going to give it to Texas State. Troy at home to end the season.
I'm going to give it an L. Troy's going to be good this year.
I think Troy's going to be pretty good too. That's an L. So I have them at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 wins for Arkansas State.
Yeah, I am at 6.
We're both over the 5. I like it quite a bit. I'm gonna take the.
You know what? I lean, but that's a pass. I don't like taking more than 2 futures in a conference, and I'm already doing the 8-1 on Georgia State, and they're over their wins. I mean, I may have one, and we get to a little bit later though.
Oh, I'll take all the win totals. I will be betting every single win total.
Dude, you know what? You're more of a degen than I am, my friend. I'll give you that.
Up next, we're now in the Western, if you couldn't tell. Louisiana, the Raging Cajuns, baby. New coach, new system. There's a lot of new going on.
New system, new quarterback, I believe, too.
I believe so.
Yep. They're breaking in a new quarterback. But their top rusher, Chris Smith, does return, which I feel is important. Is the new coach, Michael, I can't even pronounce his name, DeMorsrick, is he going to be able to keep that Napier zone running system? We need to remember he was a quarterback here when Napier was a coach. He does have some CFL experience, played with the Stampede and had a couple T with the Jags in the league. Wide receivers returned 6 of 8. Their O-line loses first-team right guard, second-team center, fourth-team left tackle. They only have 1 returning starter, which I think is going to be huge. D-line loses their all-conference nose tackle. Linebacker, I do believe in my rankings they have the best linebacker core in the Sunbelt. DBs are young. They have a lot of talent in the back four, but they are insanely young. Returning 97 Letterman, so they do return a lot, but only 6 starters on offense, 5 on defense. So they are returning a lot of experience. It's just not a lot of playing experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, if that makes sense. And we don't know, like, new quarterback, new coach, new system.
It makes me think that, like, I probably won't take them in a lot of the toss-up games. I think they still get, like, their wins over teams who I think are vastly inferior. Let's just get right into it. Southeastern Louisiana, that's an easy win.
And that's a win. That's a good way to start the season.
Then Eastern Michigan at home. I think that's another win.
That's another win.
At Rice.
You know what? I'm going to say take the under, and that's going to be a win.
I'm also going to say take the under. That's a win. At ULM. That's another win.
That's another win.
South Alabama. I got to favor him there.
You know what? You have to. That's going to be another win.
So they start the season off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a row. 5-0. They might be paper Tigers, though.
They could be. They are plus 280 to win the division, the second favorite.
Okay.
They got a midweek game right after Uncle Rico's birthday against Marshall. I'll take the Thundering Herd in that one.
I'm going to take Marshall there as well. Arkansas State at home after that, though. That's a win in my book.
It's a win.
At Southern Miss, that's a win. Troy at home.
And Troy coming off of a bye. Give me Troy.
I'm going to take Troy there. Georgia Southern, though, that's a win.
That's a win.
At Florida State.
That's an L.
That's an L. I'm actually going to be, like, kind of high on Florida State, and by kind of high, I mean, like, they're definitely making a bowl game this year. At Texas State to end the season.
You know what? I'm going to give them an L.
That's a sneaky game. I'm going to give them the win. Come the season, I might be betting Texas State here, though.
But, I mean, that's the thing. Like, if they have the West locked up, we all know that's going to be an L. So I don't
know if they'll have the West locked up, though.
Yeah, that's true, because Troy's going to be sneaky good, too. So I don't know. I'll give them an L, though, just because, like, it is the back-to-back. They will be coming off a physical game against Florida State. Texas State, like I said, will have a lot of transfers. You got to figure by this time of the season they'll be gelling. Yeah, I'll give them an L.
5, 6, 7, 8. I have them at 9 wins.
That's a lot, dude.
That's a lot.
You have to figure, like, we have them starting 5-0 to start the season, but they could easily drop one of those games. Eastern Michigan's always tough. They could shock them a little bit. The way Rice plays, shortening the game, maybe gets them there.
That
South
Rice game. Watch out for that Rice game. Watch out for that USA. Like, those are coin flips that I favor ULM, University of Louisiana in. Yeah. I'd probably stay away from this total.
I would stay away.
8.5 is the number.
And it's just one of those things we need to remember. They're replacing 4 starters on all offensive line. They're replacing their quarterback. They're replacing their coach. They're replacing their offensive coordinator. They're replacing so much. If I were to bet it, just on that knowledge, I would bet the under.
I'd probably bet the under, too. You're getting plus money, too, on that under. You're getting plus 100 on the under 8.5. I might lean under, even though that, like, from what I'm saying, I think some of these games could go the other way. It could be sort of a rebuilding year for the Cajuns. I lean under.
Yeah, I would lean under, too.
Up next, the South Alabama Jaguars. USA, baby. USA.
Like I said, to me, this all comes down to if Bradley's legit. The coaches are saying he has an NFL arm and can play at the next level. I'm not really sipping that Kool-Aid yet. Solid running back room. Webb returning, plus they're getting a transfer from Miss State and Vatech. I really believe losing Jalen Tover, who is going to hurt them. Offensive line returns 4 starters. And is adding transfers from Tennessee to take over that last starting spot. DL, defensive line, I have them as the second best in the conference. I think they're going to be able to get to the quarterback. However, they did lose 4 of their top 7 linebackers. Their DB returns 2 all-conference players, plus they're getting a transfer in from Ole Miss and K-State, returning only 44 Letterman. However, They're returning 8 starters on both sides of the ball. This is a very experienced team.
I think they're going to be good. I think they're going to be pretty good. They start off with Nicholls State. Nice easy.
What's that win total at?
USA's win total is at 5.5.
This is one of those teams.
5.5.
They're sitting at 22 hundo to win the Sunbelt.
What are they sitting at to win the division?
No, I only have them as the
I
only have them as that. I said that. But that's the thing. Like, realistically, they're sitting at.
They could do it.
Because you just look at this: App State, Coastal, Marshall, Georgia State are 4 of the top 5 betting favorites to win the game. Then you have to win the title game in the Sun Belt. La Tech's at Louisiana's at plus 280, Troy plus 1,400, South Alabama plus 22. With this much production, it's kind of worth a flyer. I'm not going to lie.
I might throw a little dart on South Alabama.
Let's who's missing from the schedule? Georgia State, Coastal Carolina, Marshall. You know what I mean? Of the big ones, that's a tempting thing. What's the juice on that over?
It's minus 110 both ways.
All right,
5.5.
Let's go through this. Let's see what they have in here. We got
Nicholls State.
To start off. I'll give that a win.
Nicholls. That's a win at Central Michigan.
This is the thing.
That's tough.
I love me the Chips. I grew up in the shadows of Kelly Short Stadium. Fun fact. They're losing 2 offensive linemen, and you're playing a team that has one of the best DLs in the Sun Belt. I think this could be a sneaky game. I think it's more of a coin flip game. If they were playing this game, if this is one of those non-divisional, non-conference games at the end of the season, I would lean Central because I think Central will have it figured out by then. But this early, and it's not going to be that cold in Mount Pleasant, I think this is a coin flip game.
I'm going to give it to USA. I'm with you that it's being a coin flip. I'm going to be generous, give it to USA. At UCLA, though.
That's an L.
That's an L. Louisiana Tech.
That's a win.
That's a dub. At Louisiana. I have it as a loss right now, but that's like kind of a coin flip.
That's another one of those coin flip games, but we'll give it to Louisiana.
We'll give it to Louisiana. I gave them Central Michigan. It's fine. Then the bye week, ULM after the bye week. That's a win.
I'll give them that. Yeah.
Troy at home.
Sneaky game. Sneaky game.
I'm going to give it to Troy, though.
That could be the game that determines the Sun Belt West.
It very well could.
I'll give it to Troy too.
At Arkansas State. So I had Arkansas State winning this one. I think you had South Alabama winning this one.
I did. So that I have them at my 5 right there.
At Georgia Southern.
That's a win.
I have them at 5 right now. You have them at 6. Texas State at home. I'm going to give that a win.
I'll give that a win too. That's
so
7.
You're at 7. I'm at 6. At Southern Miss. I'm at 7. You're at 8 wins right now for USA. Old Dominion.
That could be an L.
It could be.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it to him, though.
It's always tough.
There's a lot of coin flips. There's a lot of coin flips.
But I think this team with the production could make it.
They could win 9 games.
I would lean the over there.
I'm going to pound the over. I'm going to pound the over like I pound waitresses at Applebee's. I love this over. Give me this. 5.5? There's not a chance in fucking hell they don't make a bowl game.
Oh, yeah. You know what, Jimmy? You just talked me into it.
Give me the fucking 5.5.
I'm locking it in right now. I'm breaking my rules for you, dude. I'm getting. You know what? I am taking the over 5.5. I am looking for it right now. An old DK.
Oof. I appreciate you. I appreciate this. We're in this together now. Oh my God.
I'm looking for it. It really pisses me off how DraftKings doesn't have these in alphabetical order whatsoever.
It's very dumb. They need to work on their UI. Just laying that out there.
Here we go. Boom. South Alabama over 5.5 locked in.
Boom, baby. Going from the high highs of South Alabama to the low lows of Southern Miss. I'm still not over the fact that they tried to hire Art Briles. That's just an insane thing for any college program to do, in my opinion.
It doesn't make any sense at all.
It's career suicide.
To hire Southern Miss. I don't get it. I will say this. You know who they do have in the backfield, my friend?
Who do they got?
Oh, my God. Frank Gore Jr.
Oh, that's right, because he was everything for them last year.
Yeah, he was everything. I mean, he even played quarterback one game.
Yeah,
they were so
he's
depleted
good.
in the quarterback room. The O-line is better. You know, I think he's going to benefit from more consistent play. They're going to be able to lean on him a little bit more. With the improvement in the quarterback play, I think the wide receiver group is going to improve. 34 Letterman. They're returning 9 on offense, 7 on defense. But the big thing with me and my notes that I found is they're getting 10 players in via transfer from the SEC. So I think there's talent there. It's just so they're going to be able to piece it together and avoid injuries.
It's also a brutal schedule. It's not an easy schedule.
Yeah.
They start off with Liberty.
You know what? Liberty is breaking in a new quarterback. I think that's going to – I wasn't high on Liberty last year. I get it, Hugh Freeze, whatever, but, you know, they're breaking in a new quarterback. I wasn't high on Liberty last year. I'm going to take Southern Miss here.
I'll give Southern Miss this one. This is kind of a coin flip, in my opinion. It's not like a guaranteed win by any stretch. I'll give it to Southern Miss. Then they go to Miami or Florida.
That's a loss.
Northwestern State at home up next, though. 2. That's 2 wins.
That's a win. That's 2.
At Tulane.
Coin flip game here. Coin flip.
I got a favorite Tulane. That's a tough place to play.
All right, so we'll say 2.
So they got 2 wins right now into the bye week. Out of the bye week, they go to Troy.
That's an L.
That's a loss. Arkansas State at home. That's a loss. At Texas State.
Oh. Coin flip, but I'll give them an L.
I'll give them an L as well. Then they play Louisiana.
L.
Georgia State. L. At Coastal Carolina. L. South Alabama. L. At ULM.
Win. I have a 4.
1, 2, 3, 4 being generous. The win total for Southern Miss is set at 4.5. Plus 105 on the under. I like the under. Give me the under.
That's a pass. Pass for old Uncle Rico.
Give me that under. Texas State's up next. Now, this is a weird team. Texas State's a weird team, in my opinion. Like you said, bringing in a shitload of transfers.
That's
all he does.
But he's like, this is his 4th year here, and ever since he came here, he's coaching. You know what I mean? Like, he's on the hot seat. He only has 2 players from high school coming in.
That's weird for a coach in Texas.
Insanely weird. Arkansas State transfer. Lane Hatcher is taking over at quarterback. Great running back room. Wide receiver room deep. And we need to remember, the thing that this guy likes to do is he likes to play up to 10 wide receivers in a game. As crazy as it sounds, he likes to cycle it through. Their O-line lost their right tackle, but they're adding 3 transfers. Great experience coming back. Ton of D linemen coming back. 24 total transfers coming in. 14 returning starters. 9 on offense. 5 on defense. 73 Letterman returning. I mean, this is a deep thing, but it's like when you bring in 24 transfers, the big thing is how long does it take everyone to mesh up? You know what I mean? Like, there was glimpses last year when this team looked decent, together. then there was glimpses when you just looked at it and like, Jesus Christ, this team's an effing train wreck.
There's such a hard team to predict. Like, I have no idea how this team's going to perform throughout the season. The win total set at 5. Off the bat, I kind of want to lean over.
Off the bat, I get it.
But let's see how the schedule lays out. They start at Nevada. Nevada breaking in a new quarterback.
Texas State breaking in 24 transfers, though. You know.
I'm gonna take Nevada to win that one.
Yeah.
FIU at home next.
I mean, FIU is one of the worst teams in the country, dude. That's definitely
I'm gonna take Texas State. At Baylor.
For sure.
That's a loss.
That's an L.
Houston Baptist. That's a win.
That's a win. So we got 2.
At James Madison. I had that as a loss. Yeah. App State at home next.
That's a loss.
That's a loss. At Troy. That's a loss.
That's a loss.
Southern Miss.
That's a win.
That's a win as well. Bye week at ULM.
That's a win.
At South Alabama. I had that as a loss.
That's a loss.
Arkansas State. I had as a loss. Louisiana.
I
have it as a loss.
That's a loss. Texas State is getting 8.5 to start the season at Nevada.
4 wins. I still might like Nevada in there.
Yeah, I have them at 4 wins too.
Their win total is set at 5, minus 130 on the under.
I'd lean. You know what?
I'll lean under. That's a tough one for me.
I'll lean under, but they got a lot of players coming back, talent in the room. I'd lean under, but I'm not going to bet it.
Yeah, that's a tough one to do. I would lean under as well, but that's a tough one to say. Troy, the Trojans of Troy are up next, baby. Second to last team we're talking about. We're going to end on a high note, just so everyone knows. We're going to end on ULM. A very
America's team. Gunnar Watson coming back as quarterback. I like this kid a lot. Vital coming back as a starting running back. Returned 3 out of the top 4 wide receivers. O-line been together for 3 years, but the issue with them, they have no depth. If one person goes down, there's an immediate drop just in the talent level. D-line, I have them as the 3rd best D-line in the Sunbelt. You know, one of the top pass rushers in the conference is returning. Returned 9 out of the top 10 DBs. But the main thing for me is Lindsey's gone, dude. They got a new coach, John Summerall, coming in. I like this guy a lot. Returning 62 lettermen, 9 starters on both sides of the ball. I'm a little bullish on this team.
I'm pretty high on Troy myself. I think on most years I'm high on Troy. So let's jump into this schedule. At Ole Miss to start the season.
That's a tough matchup. I have it as an L.
I have it as an L as well. They could jump on Ole Miss though. No, don't count out the Trojans. Alabama A&M at home next though. Win at App State. That's a coin flip to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to give it to App State, though, because they're home.
I think App State could easily win that game.
It's tough to play in Boone. I'm going to give it to App State. Marshall at home after that. I'm going to give that to Marshall. Give it to Marshall. At Western Kentucky. I had that as a win.
That's a win.
Southern Miss at home. That's a win. Texas State. We both had that as a win. At South Alabama. Tough.
Sure.
Tough. I have it as a win.
Before the bye, Thursday night game, I think that's a little bit of a toss-up. Because
it's a toss-up for sure.
Midweek can get a little crazy.
I'm going to give it to them, though.
Okay.
At Louisiana coming out of the bye week.
I love Troy here. I'm going to be on Troy.
I have Troy winning this one as well. Army.
I have this as an L. That's too much. You just beat Luke. Yeah.
ULM at home. That's a dub.
That's a big juicy dub.
At Arkansas State to close the season. That's a toss-up in my opinion. I gave it to Arkansas State, I think.
I think Arkansas State's going to be playing for bowl eligibility that game, so I'll lean that way as well.
I have them at 7 wins.
I have them at 7 wins, too.
Their win total is set at 6.5 with minus 120 on the over. I guess I lean over.
I lean over, but I'm not going to play it.
That's another one of these hard ones to pick. I probably would stay away, but if I had to pick one, I'm leaning on the over. Last, and actually least, probably. Least. I'm just going to say it last and least.
Most certainly least in the Funbelt.
ULM, Louisiana Monroe. Win total set at 2.5.
I just want to say this, okay? For how much of a lack of talent there is in that room, the fact that they got 4 wins last year is remarkable to me.
Now, do you think that was Terry Bowden, or do you think that was Rich Rod's offense?
Yeah, I think it was Terry.
It could be Terry. I think Terry Bowden's a pretty decent coach.
I'm not a big Rich Rod guy. I'm interested to see the next step Mr. Chandler Rogers takes in his development because he's going to be starting as a sophomore. Good wide receiver room, and it will take another step forward if Rogers develops the way I think he will. O-line does lose 3 starters and 4 backups, 2 transfers, 1 from Oklahoma, another one from Akron. No depth. They only had 12 offensive linemen on the spring roster. They absolutely have no depth. D-line has no depth, but they do have a little talent on the D-line. But if anyone gets down, there's going to be a huge drop in the talent gap. Linebackers, 2 of the top 3 return. DBs, they lost their top 5 DBs, returning 40, 8 on offense, 4 on defense. Yeah, we're going to see how,
their schedule is not doing them any favors.
Terry's here.
Yeah. Their schedule is not doing them any favors. They start at Texas.
Which is
as hilarious as hilarious it would be if ULM got this upset, it would be the funniest thing on the planet. They're not winning this game.
There's no way in hell they're winning this game.
It would be objectively like the funniest thing ever, though, if they did. I'm laying that out.
It would be
the best thing ever.
But I can't do it.
I would give up Nebraska making a bowl game for Texas to lose this game. That's how much I want it to happen.
That's actually kind of funny.
Up next, they get Nichols. That's a win to me.
That's a win.
At the Alabama Crimson Tide.
That's an L.
Not a chance in hell. Louisiana up next. That's an L.
Yep.
At Arkansas State.
L.
Coastal Carolina. L.
L.
At South Alabama. L.
L.
At Army. Back-to-back away games. L.
L.
Bye week. Texas State. L.
Winnable,
but
L.
L.
But
At
L.
Georgia State. L.
L.
At Troy. L.
L.
Southern Miss. Winnable. L. I have to have it as an L, though.
Winnable.
They have 3 winnable games.
Ceilings 2.
I think they could also jump out at South Alabama. Their absolute ceiling to me is 4. And that's winning every single game. I think they get 1 or 2 wins, maybe. I'm going to go under.
Yeah, I'd definitely leave the under here.
Win total set at 2.5. You're getting plus money on the under. Give me that under.
Yeah, I'd lean under here, too. But I'm not going to bet it. Excuse me. My 3 bets for the conference are Georgia State, 8-1 to win the conference. Over. I have plus money. Or was it over 5.5? I have plus money.
7.5. 7.5.
Over 7.5. Excuse me. Then we went the over 5.5 for the Jaguars of South Alabama.
My favorite. I don't have any to win the conference, although I will 100% back you on Georgia State winning the conference. I love South Alabama over 5.5. Love that one so much. Georgia State over 7.5, and I like. Let's see. There was one other one I really liked. I think I like Arkansas State over 5. I'm gonna give with that. I also like ULM under 2.5. Give me that plus money.
Okay. All right. I respect that.
That'll do it for the Funbelt, everybody. This is a fun one. I'm enjoying. We only got 2 more G5s left to go.
We have 2 more. We're going out west next.
I think Mountain West is Mountain Best.
Yeah. The Mountain Best.
I'm going to be a little preview for everybody.
State. It's going to be a
little spoiler alert. I'm going to be way too high on Hawaii. I'm just gonna tell you that off the bat.
Little spoiler alert. I'm behind my homework, so I don't know who I'm going to be high on yet.
I just love Hawaii. They're my adopted team. So, just spoiler alert. I'm going to be high on Hawaii. I don't care. I don't care. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for listening. Eric, what do you got going on?
New podcast comes out Friday. Also,
give it a listen, you fucks.
Next week, starting every Tuesday at 10 p.m. Eastern, there's going to be the ETOF 21 Sports Show. We're going to be I'm going to have guests come on, talking sports, talking betting. Going to have some professional athletes on there too. So it's going to be a 30-minute interactive show. If you're not doing anything on a Thursday night, 10 p.m. Eastern, come out, hang out, talk some sports.
Subscribe to the YouTube. Subscribe to the Twitch.
Yeah, at eTalk21 on Twitch, at eTalk21 Sports on Twitch, and YouTube, eTalk21 on Twitter, eTalk21 Sports on the Gram, on TikTok, and on Facebook.
Y'all know where to find me. I got a lot going on this week. I got my CFL recap, my USFL playoff recap. We got Spring Fever coming up later this week.
We do. This
weekend, I'm going to be in Canton, Ohio, at the USFL championship game.
I need to know the situation with that luscious tomahawk steak you posted on your feed.
So I need to find a place in Canton that serves up steak like that. That steak is actually from a steakhouse in Norfolk, Nebraska. Shout out Fat Pig Black Cow. It's a steakhouse in Norfolk, Nebraska. It's a 32-ounce tomahawk that's in that picture with delicious melted butter. And then on the side, I had giant jumbo shrimp scampi and then garlic and onions. Oh, it was so good.
That's so fucking hot, dude.
It was $100 though, so it was not cheap.
That's so hot, dude. That's just so hot.
It's fucking delicious. I love that place so much. I've been there 3 times, and I only get the tomahawk every time I go.
You know what?
You have to prepare for it though, because that's 2 pounds of meat.
You gotta get mentally prepared. You got to go through a fast.
Skip lunch.
You got to go through a whole day fast just to get there.
Oh, yeah, I go through that, and then I think the night when I took that picture, one of my coworkers ordered. They got these things called pork wings that are just like hot chicken wings. They're like regular chicken, like barbecue chicken wings, but they're pork, and they're so it's so good. It's so good,
dude. I'm looking at it right now, man.
It's a sexy piece of meat.
Sparta Steakhouse and Lounge. That may be the place you have to go.
That might be the place. I might have a Chef Jim review of that steakhouse. Be prepared, Canton. Be prepared. That's all I'm going to say.
I'm looking at it. Unfortunately, I don't see the tomahawk on the menu, though.
I have to order something, though. I'm going to order something. I'll tell them that much.
I mean, looking at steakhouses, it's Sparta, Outback, Texas Roadhouse, Longhorn.
I'm gonna go with the one that sounds the most local. Probably Sparta.
Oh, there's Lucia's.
Ooh, I like a nice little steak lady.
Ooh, maybe we got something going on here, my friend.
Okay.
Look at me. I'm just
you might be speaking my language.
I'm just planning your trip, dude.
It's going to be fucking awesome. It's going to be amazing. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for listening. Give us a like. Give us a follow on all social media. It really does help the show. We appreciate it. See you guys next time. We're going to be talking some Mountain Best. Love you.